So we are going live now. Oh yeah, we're live now. So
Yes, yes.
GM everyone. Just let me know if you can hear me. Well, let me know if there's anything missing. GM everyone, and welcome to another developer hour with Flair Africa. Oh yeah, welcome everyone. GM. Okay. I'm still waiting for more people to join in. I think we still have a lot of people joining. Okay, so GM everyone, welcome to another session of Flair Africa Developer Hour. My name is Monde. I am the developer for Flair Africa, and with me I also have John Bosco. Say hi, and probably like introduce yourself.
GM everyone. My name is John Bosco Izuchukwu. I'm a developer of Streetflare Nigeria.
Oh, okay. So thank you for joining today's session, and then we also have Manuel from the Central Court. Yeah, it's supposed to bill us, but I think it's experiencing some network issue. Oh well, I think it's going to join in during the live stream. So just give some time for more people to join in, and let's see how it's progressing so far. Okay. Okay. So as we progress, I think I'm just going to give a little bit of a rundown of what we're going to be talking about today. And we're basically going to be talking about the Flair Summer Hackathon that is currently ongoing with a prize pool of $12,000 for, should I say, the best of the best developers on Flair Network. But I don't think it's limited to just the best of the best developers. It's meant for people that really want to build on Flare Network, take advantage of Flare Network primitives like FDC, the FTSO, the Flare Smart accounts, and also Flare Confidential Compute. So the hackathon is already on. It started June 29th and it's on till August 14th. So we have like 36 days left till submission. Yeah. Like I said, the prize pool is $12,000. It's a virtual hackathon, so it's open to everyone, everywhere, regardless of where you are in the world. And just to go through a little bit of what it's all about is it's open for summer, Flare Summer Signal, open online hackathon for builders. If you're building real products on Flare Network, this is something you should partake in. And then this is the timeline. Final submission is August 14th, and then the prize pool. So there are two bounties for this particular hackathon. The first bounty is on interoperable asset products using the Flare Smart account, which allows you bridge and use products from other blockchains on Flare Network. And if you've been following the latest on Flare Network, you must have heard about FXRP, which helps you bridge the XRP ledger ecosystem and help you use your XRP on Flare Network. And then we also have the bounty for Flare confidential compute apps. If you are building applications that require um, confidential computation via CEs, this is the bounty for you. And then some of the submission requirements is you need your project name. You could call it anything fancy, something that actually means something to you. Your project name, select your bouncy, a short product description, the target users. Like I mentioned, this is a hackathon that's really focused on real life products, things that people could use and like extend beyond the hackathon itself. So you need to know what you are building. You need to know the target users. You need to have like a demo, a working demo. Definitely you need a GitHub repo and an explanation of how the project uses Flare Network itself. So for this hackathon, I think one thing I love about this hackathon is that it's not just open to new projects. You can also bring in your existing projects, but whenever you are bringing that, you have to be explicitly state what you had before the hackathon, what new thing you built during the hackathon, and how it has ported or integrated Flare Network in any way. and why the new work would be meaningful to users on Flare Network. So it's open to developers, whether you're a new developer on Flare Network or you are a seasoned developer on Flare Network. This is something you can actually build on. And then some judging criterias, product usefulness, technical execution, all of that. I think it was all in the fine print. And then there's a dedicated group chat for the Flare hackathon. You can join in via the Dora apps page. And I think we already shared a link to this registration page on the Flare Africa page. So I'm just going to go ahead and pin that particular post so you can always find this. And then there's also the link to developer documentation you can always find here. But the major focus of this particular live stream is to talk about the hackathon itself, and then some should I say some things we've built in the Flare Africa community to help your hackathon journey be a little bit more smoother. Basically, showing you how to set up, or maybe some SDKs we had previously worked on that could help you build faster and smoother. Basically, a better developer experience. Okay, so that's basically a rundown of the hackathon itself, and I think I'm just going to check in on more people and see if everybody has been able to join in successfully before I proceed with what we have on ground today. Okay, so there's a dedicated Flare hackathon group chat, and then oh yeah, during the course of the live stream, if you have any questions, you can go in and drop the question either on the Flare Africa X page, or yeah, drop it on the Flare Africa X page. We would be willing to answer all the questions we have during this session, and everyone is welcome to just drop in your questions, and we'll try our best to answer all your questions. So at this point, I think I'm just going to be going ahead and passing the mic to John. Is the devil for Street Flare Ninja, and then in the previous hackathon, we had a previous hackathon using proof rails. Yes, we had a previous hackathon using Proofread, and then John developed an SDK to work with Proofread, and he's basically going to talk about the SDK he develops, how you could leverage it to make your development journey a little bit smoother. So, hi John.
Hi, hi. So,
Okay,
you can see-
over to you.
you can see my screen.
Oh yeah, we can see your screen. It has this multiple sharing. I think you're sharing your full desktop.
Can you see it now?
Oh yeah,
Can you see
yeah,
my screen?
definitely. Yes, yes.
So, I'm going to show you
Okay.
how the SDK about the proof reel. Although currently you have developed a lot of SDK currently on Flare, but they are not yet live. Although they are already on NPM, but it's only these proof reel that have a live documentation currently. So what is Provely? Provely is a standard bank receipt where you can generate a receipt after doing a transaction in a blockchain. It helps you to get a receipt just like normal Web2, where you can maybe make a payment and get a receipt. You can show it that actually you did a transaction. Just is like normal in a blockchain. If you make a transaction, the first thing you will do, the only thing they can give you is just the hashtag where you can check that in Explorer and the rest of them. But Provely will give you a receipt where you can actually prove it any place and anywhere. So we develop a client SDK where all you need to do is just to install the SDK. This is just the overview of it. You can install the SDK and you can make a payment there. You made it in a way that it's easy for any person to use it. And we did it mostly for React and TypeScript. So you can use it for all the React cookies there. So all you need to do is just install it there and start importing it into your project. So I'll just go to the get started. And this is the command. All you need to do is just npm install the Provide SDK. After installing it, just like what I said, you can initialize it using the proof race or use Provide payment. And also make it in a way that here in a demo here, you can get your here you can create your own API here just for testing purpose. You can get your API here, see the transaction and see how it works and verify the payment if the payment is successful or not. And you can also download the receipt if you want to do that. Here you can list your receipts, you can get your receipts, list your receipts and the ask fast itself. And here you can generate the payment template and validate the transaction to know if you actually anchored on blockchain or not. Because sometimes you can make a payment, you show that it's anchored on blockchain, maybe because of network. The project is the transaction didn't go, so the transaction might be hanging. You can use this validation to validate the transaction. You can fetch the receipts and details of the receipts and also create a project here. All these things is just a demo where you can test it and see how it works. And you can also get the source code of this demo in case you want to try to see how the full code on how to use the SDK. This is the full code on how to use the SDK, or this is the full code of the demo I just displayed now. All these things is the full code. You can use everything. If you see here, instead of you going to proof risk, instead of going to the proof risk documentation or GitHub, following the repo and reading a lot of documentation, all you need to do here is just install and use the SDK. So this is basically this is the base URL. Although the base URL here, I don't think it's still active because I use the free version in render. But to do that, it's easy to do that. I don't know. Yes, I don't know if you are going to show how to run this thing, middleware of
Email.
Prove.
Okay. Okay. Oh, that your URL it's already expired. No, just keep on going. Keep on going.
Yes, yes, I think it's expired. So here, all you need to do, this is the Prove provider. So all you need here is start your. Is either you the project is the repo. I think we will share the repo later. The backend repo of Prove. So you know
Yes.
there just fork the repo and push the repo and host it in render and get your own key and get your own API key and replace it here. If you are That's just what you need to do. You don't need to configure anything again in the app back. All you need there is just maybe your private key because of the transaction, this thing, gas fee, and the rest of them. All you need there is just configure this thing. If you check the README, everything there is easy to use. This is all the React. This is just all the front end projects. So here you can create your PE. Assuming the this thing is still working. Assuming the API key, the backend is still active. I can create a project here and you see how it works.
Okay. Can we quickly
So this is
grab?
the core SDK, the configuration.
Can we quickly grab? Can we quickly grab the URL, or can we quickly go and deploy it? I think I still have mine. I'm trying to check for
Is it
mine.
the the proof?
Oh yes, I'm trying to check for mine. I should still have mine.
Yes, I think we can do that. See how it's my GitHub, but I need to check. Let me check my code and see if I can get the EMV file.
Hmm.
Let
Okay,
me
I
check my
initially deployed it on. Where we go ahead and just check.
is your own link
No,
your own link is still
mine,
active.
no, mine was paused. Mine was paused. I
Let
think.
me check. Let me just get my EMV file and know if I can deploy it now.
Okay.
So let me get to render.
Okay. Let me go ahead and check for if there are any questions for the meantime. I think we're waiting for one more person. Manuel was supposed to join in. I think he's still having some network issues.
Alright, no problem. Let me just deploy it.
Okay, no problem. Okay. Just let me know when you are done. And I think for the next part of it, one thing I would love to touch on is the Flare confidential compute. We have we have some sample projects that I would love for us to walk through. I think a lot of persons had some difficulties setting up their development environments with the sample code base we got earlier from Flare. That's the Flare FEC sign.
Yes, yes, yes. Even me, I think I'm still having because I have an SDK. Let me show you the SDK I have
Oh, you try to build an SDK
for the
around
S.
it.
Yeah, this is the SDK I have. Maybe I will send the npm to you later. This is my SDK, the
Okay.
SDK I have.
Okay. Oh
So I
yeah.
think I don't know. Let me just try. Let me just try. This is the SDK I have. The documentation is currently ready, but it's still on localhost. So that's why I haven't talked about it. This is the SDK. It have everything, both the onboarding, the
Okay.
resume, the doctor to check whether everything is working, and the help and everything.
Yes. Okay.
So the only thing, so everything here is actually even the thumbnail, everything here is just working. The only problem I have currently, I think, is just one issue which I'll try and rectify this week. This register T, I'll try
Oh.
and rectify this week.
Okay. Okay.
So
I said good luck
so
with that. Good luck with that. I was able to set up on my local environment. It took some back and forth to be very honest, and I actually documented the process. I put it down on a Notion document. I think I'll just share that instead. I was able to get all the tests to pass and working. I think the major thing that's really confusing is when a lot of people see the code base, it looks scary because it has a folder that contains contracts with Solidity, and then we also have a Go,
yes, yes,
we
yes.
have Python, and then TypeScript. It feels like are we expected to work with all of these languages? But I think it's feasible. You can work with it.
You can work with it actually. You can work with the only thing there is just to choose the one that you need.
Yes, yes, yes. But then you cannot do without the Go folder, please. The Go
Yes, yes,
contains the
yes,
build tools. So try to not delete the
yes,
Go
yes.
folder.
Exactly. So I think I've deployed the middleware.
Okay, okay. So let's test it out.
So this is the middleware of tutorials. So I think I will copy this project out. So I will come here.
Okay. I think we could have. How's it going so far? Okay, try and test it out.
Yes, yes, I'm trying to test the endpoints as I just did know.
Okay.
I don't know if your case, if someone did sometimes. Oh, sorry, this thing is this.
Oh, what's that? Oh, you choose.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
you choose
I
the
posted
wrong
a React
language.
JavaScript. Yes, JavaScript. I posted a JavaScript into TypeScript. I'm just thinking a way to test this thing now. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to do.
Okay. I see you're trying to test it out.
Yes, exactly. I'm trying to test it out, but I use.
Mm, okay. Okay. I'm just going to give you some time to like. It's having some npm error
Yes, yes.
dependency.
Do you
Oh,
want to display
welcome.
anything so I can just start sharing?
No, no problem, no problem. Do you know what? Let me take over. Go ahead and continue debugging. I think this is one of the heartbreaking things with using TypeScript. Once you have a
That is
dependency issue, you are in for it for a very long
exactly
time. Okay.
exactly. So
Anyways,
I should I stop sharing so you can share or should I continue?
yeah. I've taken you off. You can go ahead and continue debugging. When you're ready, I'm just going to pass it over to you. But
All
I
right,
think for me,
okay.
for the meantime, I'm just going to walk through some other things on Fly Network. And oh yeah, the one thing I really wanted to touch on was how to set up the sample code base we have from Flare Network. And then that's a Flare. I think the repo I'll be using is the Flare FCE sign. Let me add that. Let me add that. So okay, yeah. Okay, so the Flare FCE sign. I think this is one of the should I say the most straightforward um, repo that actually talks about the Flare confidential compute. And Flare confidential compute basically allows you use encrypted T that's trusted execution environment, allows you encrypt sensitive data and allows you to bring all of that on chain into your smart contracts. And yeah, so this is the Flare documentation. It talks about the Flare confidential compute and using CE brings secure off-chain computation, cross-chain transaction signing, and it allows you bring all of that onto the Flare network via the Flare data connector. And some of the key features: secure off-chain computation, cross-chain transaction signing, fast data attestation. But all of this is the good parts of the Flare confidential compute. And if you want to find out more about this, you can easily find all of this on the Flare network, um, the Flare network documentation. But what I really wanted to touch on was the sample repo that was provided on that disk. Oh yeah, so the private key extension to be precise. So this repo and the basic thing it does is that it allows you to store private key. Think about you are trying to build a a product that relies on having like what should I call it? A central wallet, something that carries out on-chain transaction on its own without you having to sign with your wallet all the time. Say you wanted to like delegate a wallet to an AI agent, and then you wanted to make sure that whatever the private key of that particular wallet is safe and nobody can get to it. The one of the best ways to do it would be to keep that private key in a TEA, and I think that's what this repo is all about. It has like three functions. It allows you to set private key, update the private key, and yeah. So this is an overview. The user sends this. All of this is in the Flare repo, and there's some prerequisites that you actually need to have run on your machine before you can work with this repo. Is that you need to have Docker desktop, you need to have Foundry, you need to have Go and ng. So yeah, so all of the basic explanation is here. You can see the smart contract, which is the instruction sender. All of this, you can see this. And then one more thing I would want to add is that when you want to work with this particular sample application, it will be better to run it on either you use your Mac, or if you're on a Windows laptop, you use Windows subsystem for Linux. That's WSL on your VS Code. So all of the major information is on the Flare documentation. But when it comes to setting up, I think you can also find the setting up instruction on, yeah. So yeah, you can also find the setting up instruction on here. Yeah, you can find the setting up instruction on here. Once you clone the repo, you have to make sure you have your Docker, your Go installed, and Foundry. And I was able to set mine up locally, and I don't think this really explains the setup bit by bit. So I'm going to share the documentation I was able to put together to make this a little bit more understandable. So there's a documentation I put together, and then phase one, you need to install some basic things to get started with. So if you're working with WSL, you need to install some build essentials to make working with that particular repo easy. So you some of the core utilities and Golang, you'd install all of this, and then you also need to make sure you have Foundry set up. You can use this command, or you can go ahead and check the command on Google, but always make sure you verify on Google to make sure you are not just typing in any command and giving access to your host machine just like that. So you make sure you have Docker desktop, ngrok running fine, and now the phase two, which is the configuration and the setup. First, you clone the repo, you enter the repo, and yes, okay, yeah. One more thing that was omitted in documentation is that you would need a wallet, and you need to create a new wallet. Create a new wallet with Foundry. You head over to a testnet faucet, you get some faucets, and you can always check your balance and then run all of this. So after this live stream, I'm going to make this documentation available to everyone, so you don't have to worry and you can set up on your own. John, how's it going so far?
Yeah,
How's the
yeah. I'm
debugging
trying to
going?
change it's, I'm just trying to do this. Let me just change this thing once and for all. I just want to my this thing versus so I can just change the old key there. I think it's the
Okay,
easiest way to do it now.
okay. I think we were waiting for one more person. I don't think Manuel is joining us today. He's totally off. Yeah, he's totally off. Okay. Yeah, I don't think maybe next time he's going to join us. I'm just going to wait on you for a little bit, and then we'll see how it goes. Let me go ahead and share this, and let me check if we have any questions online. Okay, we don't have any questions. No questions yet. No questions yet. Okay. Let me share one more thing. Okay. So I think this is the one last thing I want to share before we go back to John. It's because like when a lot of persons were setting up the FCE sign repo on their local environments, they were really confused on seeing the code base having like Go, Python and also TypeScript and then going on to seeing Solidity all in one repo and all of that gets really confusing over time. But when you set it up on your local machine, say you've done the gate clone, you've gotten your wallet, your private address, you've set in your config and everything, the most important part of the code base, or should I say, the one thing nobody should actually delete is this particular Go folder because it contains um, a key part of the project. It contains a part that communicates with the trusted execution environments and also the build tools. But if but the major thing, the major folder you'll be working with is if you are comfortable with Python, you work with Python. If you're comfortable with TypeScript, you also work with TypeScript. And in the earlier documentation I shared, I think it has everything to get you set up. And when you are done with everything, one you always have to make sure you test it out. The the folder itself comes with some pre-written shell scripts for you to test out to see if your installation is fully working well. So if you just go ahead and then you run your tests, that's a test script. It's going to run some commands to see if it's working fine, and then you can debug from there to see if anything else is missing. And then for this, it's going to be deploying on the Flare testnet network. Again, it might take some time to run, but I'm just going to leave that there. Okay, John, how's it going?
Yes, I'm deploying the project now.
Oh, you have to redeploy it.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Hmm. Okay, so my test failed. Why is my test failing? Okay, let me run this from the beginning. Let me stop the service first. Oh, okay, let me see this. This is still running. Yeah, that's still running. I think for this, I'll create a separate setup video after this just to see how, just to show how to start it from start to beginning.
All right.
Oh yeah, I'll create a separate video just to show the setup. Even I sometimes still get some issues. Okay, so that now over to you. So this is supposed to be like a very short session to talk about the hackathon itself, the prize we have for the hackathon, and where you can always find help, and then some people you can always reference. If you go down to the Flare Foundation GitHub repo, I think it already contains some starter repo that you can always reference. Yes. Okay. So on the Flare Foundation, you can always find some starter repo you can always reference. It has no, should I just go ahead to the Flare? Oh yeah, so you have everything for Flare confidential compute here, the F assets, and then there's these are the core protocols, I think. Yes, and then there are some Flare adult starter repo you can always work around with. On the Flare Africa, we have I think we have an FDC starter repo everyone can always work with. Hmm. Oh, this is let me find that. I think I have this on. We have some FDC starter. I know I created one. Where are you? Okay, this is the Flare Africa Community GitHub. Mm, yes. So let me check for the repo. Okay, yes. So we have the Flare FDC starter repo anyone can work with, and then you also have a repo for that works you to deploy your first smart contract. But yeah, the FDC would actually work really really fine. Are we good now?
Is it, let me use, I don't know, is the this thing is still having issue, but I think I will fix the this thing because not the other one expire, so I have to check where I added this. Or let me check here. I know if I can.
Okay.
Okay, let me create this thing here. I know
Okay. I
if I
think you can
create.
just walk through. You can just walk through what we're supposed to do with the SDK, and then when everything is set, we're going to share it on the Flare Africa X page.
I think that will be better. So you can see my screen now, right?
But yeah.
So this is if you want to create it in, I will try and add the this thing in this particular backend that I just posted now. So here is where of the if you want to make use of that I just hosted, update the code and with the that new backend that I just created. So here is the SDK for the receipts. Here is the SDK for receipts, and I don't know if it's my network.
Okay. Okay.
Network is already hanging. I don't know. So this is all the types. This is all the scripts
Okay.
API. This is for the verification of the records. Why this one is for the SDK receipts. You see the ID, the project ID, the type, the status, whether it's pending, code of Fed, amount, currency, sender, receiver, reference, transaction hash, block number, time and metadata and credit and credited time. This is basically the all the information that the SDK can give you out after if the transaction is successful. So the ID is the project ID and everything. This is for SDK receipts. This is if you want to verify the receipt, the status, the number, timestamp, and MK rules and the error. If there's any error, it will show you the error. This one is the proof error. This one is just this particular one is if the project is having error, it will not just show you maybe a random error, it will show you exactly the error why the project is failing. If you're trying, just like here, just like in this demo, the time I was trying to create it, it will show me that the status timeout or something like that. Instead of showing you a long error or a JSON error that you will not understand, it just show you a simple error that will explain everything why the project is failing or why the transaction is failed. So this is for the receipt. So this is SDK for receipt. So if you want to create a receipt, the first one is the type, which is the this thing, which is a payment, the data, and the chain. This you can configure it. It's either you choose a mainnet or you choose constant two. So this is if you want to get receipts. This is SDK to get receipts, and the receipt ID. This is if you want to list the receipts, all the receipts. You can choose the limit, whether it's one or two. You can decide to choose it. You can decide to choose whether it's only the anchored receipts or failed receipts or both, all of them. So this one is get the art crafts, and this one is the receipt template. So if you're using the receipt template, the value that it takes is the amount, the sender, and to the receiver, the person that is receiving it, the purpose. It depends if you want to add the purpose of the transaction you are doing and the transaction hash. This is for the system template. All you need to do is, if you're using the NZK, all you need to do is just copy and paste. So it's just a kind of a React, just mostly a front end SDK where you can just copy and paste. This one is for donation template, escrow template, and grant template. This one is refund if you are refunding money. Here is the verification. If you want to verify by ID, if you want to verify by a hash, if you want to verify by the URL, if you want to get a proof, maybe that the transaction is successful or not.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to manage the project. So this one is for admin, create a project just like this new project network, just like what is in this demo now is the project management. The first one is the name of the project. The second one is on Flare. You can decide to do that on custom tool. You choose the network. So here you can just choose network. You can just choose your network and you generate the this what they call you generate the API key for the project. So here is the this one is the tools that you might need if you want to use it. This one is for if you want to embed if you want to embed it. This one is to listen and everything here is well explained. Although most of them is not well explained, but you can understand what all of them is all about. This is SDK, the API key. If you create the API key, this is send error and the rest of them. All this thing the another advantage of it is show you the easiest way to use it instead of it's not just an SDK where you can just like the FCC FGDK that I'm doing. It's still hard for people to use. It might still be hard, but this one is just mostly for UI developers, especially for end developers. If you don't know much about, if you don't know how to configure anything, all you need to do is just copy and paste. So
Okay.
here, if you want to do this, it will take the API key, and the rest of them. This is the API key, the amount, the purpose, and state receipt. So everything you need to be with privilege here. This is another examples here. I think I have an examples here. So no, there's no example here. I think so. This is another example of an e-commerce website where we can do that. All these things you just copy and paste, and all of them is well explained. If you're a front-end developer, you understand it more. There's no hard thing to for it. There's nothing much to configure. All you need to do here is just create your API key here. That's the most important thing. If you create your API key here, you already have it. You copy the code there. You put your API key inside your EMV file. Because if you check this demo now, if you check this demo, you already see the what you add is what you take in your this thing is next public key. So all you need to do is just this next public key, then add the API key you created from create API key, and the project will start working.
Okay.
So this is advanced error handling. If you want to handle an error, not just getting a normal error, so that if a project fail, you know that this is why the project failed.
Okay.
So all of them have everything you need to build with proof there. everything you need to be there. You start by creating, you start by installing the project and installing the project and start importing inside your project. I will try and do this in. I will try and settle. I will try and rectify the and change the. I'll change the API key for the. I will change the API key. This particular one that I just deployed one. I just deployed now. I will try and change it and I'll push it. I will send it to the listing Telegram group for the hackathon. I will send it
Okay.
there.
Okay. So I think that's it. I just wanted to make this a very short session to help people get to know about the hackathon and how they can get started. And so thank you everyone for joining. I think we're going to try and do this again next week. And the next week, we're going to focus on some projects that are already being built, at least from the African community and also the Flare Smart account. We cannot get to that today, but basically to help your development process go a little bit more smoother, we will be back next week. So thank you everyone for joining. Thanks, John, for going through the profile SDK, and I hope that helps everyone build a little bit smoother and helps your progress with the hackathon. So, bye everyone. Bye.